Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Oshin. This is Oshin's View. You already know I'm in the building with the bro, Willie Negro.
What up, what up, what up?
Yo, I want to have fun. Yo, I love Jamie Foxx. I like what Jamie Foxx does. He's funny, he's mad talented. He can sing, he can act. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's cool. He seemed like a cool person to be around. But I gotta take some points away. I watched the Jamie Foxx show. Like, I seen the entire series, like the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Get it in. That's what I do. I'll get it because I have to watch TV while I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? And mostly it's something that I've already seen before because I don't want to have to pay attention to it. I just want to be able to hear it, look up every now and then or whatever. I watched the entire Girlfriend series from start to end. One-on-one with Flex, the Parkers, not so much Moesha, My Wife and Kids, and all that stuff be on Netflix. I'm watching the Jamie Foxx show. He took a lot from Martin. I didn't realize how much he took from Martin the show. Never mind the fact he called it the Jamie Foxx show, whatever, we get all that. I'm not counting that. And a friend of mine told me years ago, he was like, because D said that was the reason why he didn't like it. Because he said, yo, this nigga bit off of Martin. And at first I was like, nah, no he didn't. But I've seen the whole series. He definitely took a lot of influence was from. I'm talking about even down to the episodes. But never mind the episodes just yet before we dig into that. Look at the makeup of the show. Martin is Tommy, Cole, Martin.
Yeah.
Who were the two women? Gina and Pam.
Yeah.
Those are the five main ones. This has five main characters. Uncle Junior, which is Stan from Martin for one. Yeah. Jamie Foxx and Christopher Duncan, Braxton P. Hartnebreg.
Yeah.
And then who are the two? You got Garcelle Bouvet and Aunt Helen.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I forgot her real name. But still, 3 guys, 2 women, main characters. And he's playing characters throughout. He's the news reporter guy, Tyrone Koppel. You know, he just did a lot of things. But he had a lot of episodes that were just like some of the episodes in Martin, but he just put a little twist on it, just a little bit, for people to be like, okay, this is not directly Martin's, but it's like, if you're an avid Martin fan, you know this is it, or whatever. I think the only twist he did, Martin didn't have, well, he had an episode when Gina was messing with somebody else. Ironically, that somebody else was Braxton P. Hartnebreg. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I just thought about that just now. Like, ironically, it was him. He kept the dude Silas. That was the new boy. Yeah. He kept him around a lot longer because that was the love interest at the time. But sitcoms of the 90s, where would you rank Martin for sitcoms in the 90s?
Sitcoms, well, Martin is my favorite sitcom ever. So, like, I'm going to always rank Martin number 1. Like, my guys, like, we bonded over Martin. You see what I'm saying? Me and my guy Leaf to this day call each other up and just say one Martin line and just be back in the 90s. You know what I mean? So, like, Martin was my high school era, and I don't it's not a sitcom to me that was funnier than Martin. That was my type of humor. You know what I mean? It was, so I don't even know. What do you think?
There's a couple. I think Martin was the funniest. I don't, and by think, I pretty much know it was the funniest. Just on raw comedy, it was the funniest.
It's classic skits. Like it's classic scenes. Like the Tommy Davidson scene. He got classic scenes. The Romeo and Juliet. You know what I mean?
But to get back to your original, what you were saying with that, it's funny that we having this conversation because a lot of things are connected. We just finished watching Bad Boys, the 4th installment. So you know where I'm going for 90's sitcom. You can't dismiss Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Nah, you can't.
It wasn't funnier than Martin.
But it was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Like, it's not a landslide in terms of better sitcom. Now, if you want to say what's the better sitcom, it's almost like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Martin was scoring because it was hitting. It was timing. It was funny, but I'm not going to give Martin the full blow with that because he's a comedian. And Will Smith is not a comedian. Mm-hmm. He's funny. He's not a comedian.
Right.
So this is why, and Will Smith, that's one of my guys, he's all around. That's why the show was what it was. He said like that. Without Uncle Phil, it took a lot of parts that made Fresh Prince what it was. Now, you got Carlton, Alfonso Ribeiro. Mm-hmm. You got Hillary. I forgot her name. Don't get me the line. And it's funny because I got it right there. I got it right there. Karen Parsons.
Okay.
See? That's right. Karen Parsons. Ashley, which is
Tatiana Ali.
Thank you. Tatiana Ali. Uncle Phil, which is James Avery. Mm-hmm. And we have the real Aunt Viv. Mm-hmm. Janet Dubois. I'm good. That was good. You know what I'm saying? That was good. That was so that all of those pieces made up the Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
But with Martin, it was this is what made Martin great and funny, hilarious to me. Fresh Prince, the uncle was rich.
Yeah.
So it's relatable. It's relatable because all of us related to Will coming from West Philly, inner city. And then, it was the glimpse at the Bel-Air lifestyle. Martin was not rich. Actually, his woman made more money than him.
Yeah.
And it was put out there that she made more money. Tommy had no job. Cole worked in the airport.
Yeah.
He was the baggage guy. And Pam was Gina's assistant. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like they were super rich. So that's what made it crazy relatable. And you admit, I got to give you credit for it. We was having this conversation off camera, of course, years ago. And he had an episode about just going to the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Yeah.
That is regular.
That's regular shit.
Oh, that's regular stuff. Yeah. That's what we do. That's what we do. How many times you been, what's up? What you got to do tomorrow? I got to go to damn DMV. My damn license. That's regular stuff. And he made a whole episode about that. So I think that's why we attached so much to that sitcom, because it wasn't over the top. As great as the Cosby Show was, but that's 80's. Mm-hmm. That's 80's. As great as the Cosby Show was, we wasn't stupid. Heathcliff Huxtable was a damn doctor with his own practice. She was an attorney. Mm-hmm. So they already $500,000 in financially.
They have money.
Brownstone in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you couldn't tell about the kids because they wasn't giving them jack. But we seen that house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a brownstone. That joint was probably 1 point something in the 80's. So it's like relatability to things. But if you want to say my all-time favorite show is, you got to know. I give you 3 guesses. You only going to need 1. Don't get stuck in the 90's. Just be talking shows.
Your all-time favorite show?
Yeah.
Like a sitcom?
Sitcom. You know me. What would you say?
I don't know. It's got to be something like Good Times or something.
Exactly. It is literally Good Times. Literally. First off, I don't relate to Good Times in no way. That's what makes it crazy. Like, I know. Let me rewind that. I'm not going to say I don't relate. Financially, I didn't relate.
Yeah.
But I grew up with people that they lived a good times life.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That is because Good Times was a mixture of reality, humor, and it had them real episodes. Yo, this nigga JJ got shot.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
He damn
like,
sure did.
Like, yo, he got clapped. Carlton, Will got shot. That was one of the most shakiest scenes ever. Hey, give me your money. And then all they did was show the gun. JJ purposely got shot because he jumped in front of the bullet because they were trying to shoot his pops. And so it don't get no more real than that. Mad Dog was a real part. The Gangster Disciples is a real game.
Yeah.
King Von talked about it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, yo, this is a real Good Times, some real stuff. But everything, I had a problem with Good Times.
What was your problem with Good Times?
A little bit. It's not a huge problem. They were still in the projects because of Florida. That's for one. I hate to blame the black woman, but they was in the projects because James wanted to get up out of there. James, this is how I looked at it. And this is going to sound a little, I ain't going to say sacrilegious, little blaspheme, but just follow me. We already know black people and their religion. James' mentality was, if something illegal or shaky has to go down and somebody's soul has to suffer the consequence, I'll do it for my family.
Yeah.
He didn't want JJ doing nothing illegal. He didn't want Michael doing nothing illegal. He didn't want Thelma doing nothing. He didn't want Florida. But if it got a little, okay, I gotta do a little
yeah,
I'll do it. I'll do it. And whatever the consequence is, I'll take it. That's when he was going on the road with the fake, his man.
Yeah.
That was the minister and everything. And they were scamming people. He was down with it. But Florida, like, yo, you know, you can't. He like, all right, you know. So, fine, since we on sitcoms, Good Times, I'm going to make it easy for you. Good Times. Fresh Prince and Martin, they all had a heartfelt episode. Whose episode was the most heartfelt?
I don't know, man. It had to be.
Well, first off, let's describe.
So,
What's the
Fresh Prince was probably him and his dad. Yes.
Exactly.
I would say Good Times was Penny getting burnt.
Nah, I wouldn't count that one.
What was the Good Times then?
I think, well, first off, Good Times had a hot.
Yeah.
It's a cheat code because they got a few heartfelt episodes. So I probably prefaced it wrong because they got a few heartfelt ones. I thought, for me, one of the biggest heartfelt moments in Good Times was when James was talking to his father. When he was in the room and he was like, his father was explaining to him. He was trying to explain to him why he left. And so James replied, he was like, man, I get it. He said, man, there's been days around here I didn't know if we was coming and going. He was like, but I stayed because I knew if I left what it would do to my family. I was like, I was like, boss, because people, it's still a discussion on why Good Times ended and why James was removed. If I ever get a chance to talk to John Amos, I actually would need to know directly what happened. Because if it's up to me, what I think in my mind, I think the reason why they got rid of James is because it didn't reverse what the show was meant to do. I think the people that created Good Times meant to just show ghetto life and just the trials and tribulations, but no real message in it. But I'm looking like y'all are bugging because y'all are the writers. First off, James never cheated on Florida. He never cheated on, because see, this is the thing, and what I like what they did was this. They could have easily made Walona James's wife. because she was the ghetto fab joint.
Yeah.
They put Florida, and I'm not talking about her looks enough, but we know by the standard looks, most people would have said Willona was the better looking one. James ain't never step out on Florida. Oh yeah, they'd had 30 episodes with the chick coming, and he a man, so he gonna look, but he never stepped out on her. You know what I'm saying? She never stepped out on him. I think what happened was they started seeing messages that they was like, damn, this is showing black pride to a degree. You know what I'm saying? The father that stayed, he wasn't on drugs. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a wino. Yeah, they sip every now and then, but it was one of those sips of, we're adults, we can sip. Because remember, they would be like, yo, me, Willona, and your mama will take a sip. Y'all kids over there take that milk or that soda or whatever. So he was the strong, he was always there. He always had his kids back, he was just always there. And I was like, they probably was like, okay, we can't keep this message out there. We got to get rid of this cat. At least that's how I look at it. Because Fresh Prince, there's no reason for Uncle Phil to leave. First off, he's a breadwinner.
Yeah.
So they got mad kids. He just can't abandon, you know what I'm saying, the family. We talk about capping. They capped Martin. And this is what I mean by capped. Gina made, how much money you think Gina made? And don't say you don't know, just guess. You know what we doing. Just
like, so at that time, she probably made like, at that time, probably like 40 grand, 50 grand.
Hell no, you tripping.
No,
I'm gonna tell you why you tripping. First off, throughout that show, forget Gina at the end.
Right.
She always was getting raises. And you gotta think about it, she always made more money than this nigga. She wasn't just making no 40.
I get it, but they was in Detroit, and it wasn't, the cost of living wasn't crazy, and it was still, with the way they was kicking it, she was like okay, and he was like okay, but just a little under her.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Did Gina have a car?
No.
Yes, she did.
She had a car. They was driving in the Pinto or whatever.
No, Gina had a car though. Gina had a car.
Okay.
She had a car. Martin had a car. Now they didn't show it. They did, the whole episode with the wheelbarrow and all that stuff, but they shared the car. That was one thing for the crew. But Gina had a car. Martin had a car. They never showed it. Gina and Pam lived together. Martin had his own crib or whatever. One thing about women, when they want to save money, they get a roommate that's a woman. A woman move in with you. She don't want to just save money. She wants to get married. She wants to, that's the relationship she in. Now you said 40 or 50, I can go for that, but I'm thinking higher at the time because she always was getting raises all the time. We already know once she was the exec, she was making 6 figures. Like through, this is not even towards the end of the series. This was like in the middle of it. She was making money. They never had a house. Never had a house. Oh, they gave you an episode with the whole haunted thing and stuff. They never got a house. Even when they got married, they never got a house. Like, I be looking at stuff like that. They kept
it's because
they kept black series.
Martin wasn't going to pay the $5. He said, I ain't paying the $5. He was cheap.
No, I don't think he was cheap. He was broke.
He was cheap and broke.
Nah, Martin wasn't cheap.
Nigga,
if he was cheap, he wouldn't have been buying Jordans and all that stuff.
Nigga, shit. Yeah, he would have been buying Jordans. He'd rather buy Jordans. Yeah.
People that's cheap.
The Hushy Tushy 2000, he would have bought that, nigga.
Because he's not cheap though. Cheap people don't buy those kind of
yes, they
things.
do. If they in the hood, yes, they do. They buy all of that stuff and then they skimp on the other stuff. They do.
Bills?
Everything, yeah. Remember he wouldn't pay the rent because it went up $5?
Oh.
Yo, nigga, this nigga was crazy. They went on whole strike.
It was like 5%. It was like, and Gina was like, well, 5% is a lot. He's like, 5%? I would have moved. Nigga said, we talking $5. Nigga. He did a whole episode with $5. Okay, best intro to a 90s sitcom.
I don't know. I don't even... Intro?
Nigga, were you watching? Were you around watching these joints?
Yeah, but that was 30 years ago.
And we still here, so it don't matter.
It's 30 years ago.
Okay. I'm going to show you what I think was the best intro. Because most people will think I'm going to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air route. We are living single might have the best intro. With Big Les dancing at the beginning.
Yeah.
Homegirl standing to the left, and my right, true blue. That was, and what they did with Living Single was crazy. Friends.
Yeah.
They made Friends based off of Living Single.
Yeah, that was nuts.
And not only that, we talk about life changing. They were paying Friends, the cast, $1 million an episode.
Yeah, they were.
$1 million. Now, granted, that opened the door for, I want to say, Seinfeld, but Seinfeld is different. He's already a comedian. He's white.
Friends had got really big.
They got
Friends
huge.
had got huge. And when you get that huge, you can demand that kind of money. Like, it's supply and demand.
Yeah, but the whole thing was this. They took literally the structure and framework of Living Single and said, we're not going to just do it. We're going to do a white version of this.
Right.
And they got all the networks, everybody, and they put $1 million an episode in their hand. And you got...
Well, it was $1 million an episode after it became big. So they didn't just start off with $1 million an episode. They started off like a pilot, like anybody else. You know what I mean? The messed up part was they took the show, the concept of the show, even the name of the show, because that was supposed to be the name of the other show, and then turned it into a white sitcom. Now, what I'll say about that is, yes, it was racist and it was wrong, but they were right. It worked. I mean, if the object is to make money, they were right, nigga.
Well,
we gonna take this from the smaller market because it's a great idea, and move it to the bigger market, and they made billions off of it.
You sounded like you sounded a little dresserish with the whole they made the right move. No, the whole thing was this: the sponsorships and everything were never coming Living Single's way. That's
why is the question?
Because it's an urban thing. They're not going that way. The support, the resources wasn't going to get thrown in there. You're not completely wrong. What I'm saying is this: when does this stop? It's always been like that for us. We have something. It's created for us. We're going to turn it white, and then here we are, and be like, well, it was. Put this. I'm not going to go and say that Friends was better than Living Singles because I don't relate to Friends. I'm not going to coffee houses and doing that stuff. But
I ain't even watch Friends.
This is what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. And what they did with Living Single, they threw. Well, Queen Latifah was in it because she's Queen Latifah. Mm-hmm. So they tried to build off the backs of that. Now, Erica Alexander, she's a great actress. Sinclair and all of them, I forgot their names escape me, but all of them were good actors. Now, I think the biggest one, didn't Jennifer Aniston was on Friends?
Yeah,
Jennifer Aniston, and then Courtney Cox. That was
I don't watch that shit, man. I don't know.
Courtney Cox is the chick Gail Weathers from the Scream movies.
Yeah.
See, because the thing is, I'm trying to go back to that time frame because they got those other roles because of what they was doing on Friends. So like the Sex and the City chick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And stuff like y'all got these roles because of the success of Friends and the notoriety and the publicity and everything. But I'm looking like once they made a white version of it, that pretty much aced out Living Single. And outside of you trying to make your career, because ain't none of them really have no huge careers after that. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Well, yes. They stole the show. That was the the wrong part of it. But what I'm saying is, okay, let's say they didn't steal the show. At that time, you have to remember it's the 90s. Hip hop is not the number one genre then. You see what I'm saying? Like, the blackness is not in the forefront yet. You see what I'm saying? So the market for the black show was not the same as it is now. You see what I'm saying? And so, yes, it was a reason why they were taking all the black things and turning them white, because it's a great idea. But if we can magnify this idea in this market, we can make billions as opposed to making millions and it maybe fizzle out. You know what I mean? And that's what they did. And so I say that to say this: it only can be that way because that industry was and is controlled by, not controlled by us. You see what I'm saying? That industry is not controlled by us. So we have to take our ideas to that industry, to the higher ups, especially then. It wasn't much of an internet presence. It wasn't much of you can't be like back then it wasn't like a Issa Rae, let me put my show on YouTube. Okay. You know what I mean? And then they come to me. You see what I'm saying? For a show. And then that parlayed her into getting a show on HBO and then doing other things. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but you got back in the 90s, it's like, yo, I got this concept. I have to take it to the whites in hope that they take my concept, put some money behind it, and run with it, and not steal my IP and take it somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? It's a dirty game, but when you have the monopoly on it, you can do shit like that, and you can kind of steal people's ideas and just take it and make it yours, tweak it a little bit and make it yours. You know what I mean? That's the wrong part in it. It's theft. But the idea of taking something from this small market and putting it in this big market on a bigger scale is just good business.
The whole thing is, we don't get black shows, we don't really get past 5 seasons either.
Yeah, but
Martin, 5 seasons.
5 seasons is a lot of seasons. 5 seasons is a lot of seasons. There's a lot of shows that don't go 5 seasons that's not black too.
Yeah, but they're not very good either. And it's like, with all the, Martin got 5 seasons, Jamie Foxx 5 seasons. I think Cosby Show got maybe 6 seasons. The Wayans brothers got taken off. I didn't even think they should have got taken off. But partially I could see why they took it off a little bit. They didn't get a finale. They didn't get a final show.
Yeah,
I didn't like that or whatever. Fresh Prince got more than 5 seasons or whatever. Like, these are the outliers. You know what I'm saying? For that kind of stuff to happen.
You can say they're the outliers, but I say they're the cream. They rose to the top. Listen, 5 seasons.
No, hold on. Who? You got Will Smith. He's a budding star. Benny Medina and Quincy Jones were involved with that project. So they had things going for them in the right direction in terms of behind the scenes as well. I'm not going to say they rose to the top because it was still a great show, but it was like, you got heavy hitters behind it. So it's not going to really fall back. That's what, you know what I'm saying? That's like, you put a show out, and I know you're not going to know this name. If I put a show out, if I got a movie and Robert Zemeckis is directing it, it's going to get some money behind it. And Robert Zemeckis is basically the director of Back to the Futures. You see what I'm saying? Like that. So it definitely depends on who's behind the scenes too.
I get it, but the show still has to be good. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm sure all the people you have named have had shows and been a part of shows that weren't as good and didn't have as many seasons or didn't do as well as they thought they were going to do.
Speaking of not doing that good, let me ask you a question. Since we on movies and TV shows and stuff, Coming to America.
Yes.
One of my favorite scenes when he was like, you might know him as Joe the Policeman from the What's Going Down episode of That's My Mama. Did you know that That's My Mama was a show?
No.
Yo, that shit was a real show. It was a real show. The from Amen the night of everyone.
Yeah.
The Reverend, he was the main character on the joint. And Stan was in that joint too.
Damn.
Stan was Garrett Morris. He was the male guy on the show.
Stan was in everything.
Well,
that nigga was...
he OG, like he been around. Like, you know, them earlier movies and stuff like that and those shows. That's why a lot of people pick him for certain roles and things like that. But Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby, that run they had with, first of all, they had like 3 movies, but it was that damn Let's Do It Again and Uptown Saturday Night. Those were classics.
Yeah.
Those were classics. Like, I look at people funny if they're of a certain age and didn't see it. I'm looking like that. Because I know the family you came from and how deep y'all are with sports and everything else or whatever, but you had older people around, so you was getting the fix of things like that. You ever seen Bustin' Loose? Richard Pryor's joint when he was with the kids, driving the bus?
Yes.
Joe Braxton?
Yeah.
Movies like that. Cicely Tyson was in that joint. You know what I'm saying? That was like the tail end of the whole blaxploitation type of movies. But that wasn't blaxploitation, but it was like, we got away from that. We don't make those kind of movies no more. And I'm like, you would think now, with us coming into this new wealth, why haven't we returned to our roots and started being like, this is what kind of movies making. Eddie Murphy, and I want you to answer, but Eddie Murphy, he was talking about Boomerang when it came out. And he said the critics was trying to kill him because they were saying the lack of a white presence in the movie. And he was like, when it was Boys in the Hood, y'all didn't say anything about not no whites being around because it was about violence and drugs and everything else. But he said, you got me over here. We got executives and CEOs in an office building, and y'all are like, well, who's running the office? Because he's like, it can't be black people in these prominent positions. Where are the white people that's supposed to run the office and be the higher ups? And he was like, nah, I'm putting our people.
Because Boys in the Hood perpetuate the American ethos, the American stereotype that black people are aggressive and hood and kill each other. You see what I'm saying? And Boomerang pushes a narrative that all about young, successful black people navigating romance.
Affluent black people.
Yes. Like they navigate in romance. And the lack of whiteness is apparent because, and the reason they say that is because white America, because of the conditioning of white America, they can't relate to that. White America. So if you want it to be relatable to all the markets, then you have to have a white boss. Then they can be like, oh, they work for him. You see what I'm saying? But the lack of a white presence in the exec's mind means white people aren't going to relate to this because they don't really see black people as affluent, especially at that time. As like, all of you niggas can't be just regular people. You know what I mean? So which one of you niggas is gangster? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of movie is this? What do you mean y'all just got jobs? You know what I mean?
Good paying jobs, great paying jobs.
Yeah, because everything in media perpetuates that that most black people are just these aggressive rappers that just go around just being aggressive and talking aggressive. Even if they have families and they fall in love and stuff like that, it's a piece of them that's kind of that's rough and edgy and street. You know what I mean? And so when that narrative is always perpetuated, then it's hard for the average, not the average, but a white person who doesn't really interact with many black people to see black people as just like them. Like I just, put my pants and shirt on and go to work every day.
Now this is what they do. This is what they do to make it quote unquote even. They'll have a show or a movie or a sitcom, whatever you want to call it. They'll have the white guy with the edge. Oh, he's got tattoos. You can't see him because they're underneath his collared shirt and everything else. But when he takes it off, when he's letting his hair down, he's really a wild guy. And they make movies about that all the time. Like they make, and I like a lot of them. But they make the animal.
But that's
houses,
the point.
They do all these things.
Yeah.
But it's like it's one of those. When you're white, you get to turn off the switch. Like okay, professionalism. Then it's remember him? This is Wild Man, such and such, and like movies like Wild Hog and things like that, which I like. I'm a John Travolta fan.
But that's what I mean. That's the same narrative. That's the same kind of perpetuation of a stereotype that, you know what I mean, that this white man needs a symbol to show that he can be aggressive or he can turn, like white people is just like us. Like if you push them, they might punch you in the mouth. You know what I mean? But not if they don't got tattoos up under that. And it's the opposite for black people. When you see a black person on the screen in a suit, it's almost like, when is the nigga gonna jump out? You know what I mean? When is this nigga gonna show?
Or did this nigga just come from court? That's like it's.
But even that is his nigga showing. Like, oh, he just came from short. I knew that he just came from court. I knew the nigga was gonna show sometime. You know what I mean? Whereas when you get those movies that you refer to, it's like, oh, he got on a suit, he's regular. Oh, he has tattoos. He can be aggressive. A white guy without tattoos can be just as aggressive. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of the narrative that's kind of perpetuated that I've noticed just all my life, perpetuated in all media. It's just a difference in how black people are perceived and white people are perceived in media, and at this point, it's just pretty intentional. You know what I mean? Like, you want all black people to have like a hip hop hood edge.
How many times have you been in a relationship and you capped it? That's what I mean by capped it. You already knew before y'all even got deep into it at all. You already knew how far you was gonna take this relationship. Or how many, put this, not asking for a direct number, have you ever done that before?
This is gonna sound really bad.
Go ahead, flow.
All of my relationships before my wife, I knew had an expiration date. Every one of them I knew had an expiration date. Which is why, so my longest relationship before my wife was 3 years, right? Which is why I never proposed. I proposed to my wife after 1 year, right? Mm-hmm. So all of my relationships I knew personally had an expiration date on it. Now, that doesn't mean that we didn't have good times. That doesn't mean that I didn't care about them. That just means that I knew that this wasn't forever. You see what I'm saying? I knew it wasn't forever. So as a cap, I don't know if it was a certain number of years or months or anything like that, but I knew it was. I knew the relationships were going to expire. What about you?
Yeah, but I kind of capped them in terms of. I've capped them in terms of not how far I want to take it, but what I was willing to deal with.
Right.
So I think the theory of capping a relationship came from me when it was a young lady I was dealing with. Well, that's the irony. I don't even know if I was dealing with her. It was physical. Clearly, we had a physical relationship. And me and her, we met. We hung out one time prior to after meeting, and that one time we hung out, we were talking outside for a few hours. Next time we met up, she came over to my place. It went down. Then that became a regular thing. But me and her had a lot of great conversations. We would kick it. It wasn't just straight physicalness for the relationship. I thought she was actually cool. She passed the eye test in terms of, you somebody I could mess with and all that stuff and how she thought. So years after us, doing that and everything, she started dealing with somebody else, but we were still cool. So I kind of asked her, I was like, yo, why Dad, how you just going to run and go get a boyfriend and you never even gave me that shot? She was like, I thought that because me and her had sex so soon, she said she thought that's all I wanted. And I was like, but me and you used to be sitting and talking for hours before we even do anything, and we'd be talking on the phone, but her mind was already made up. She capped me without even knowing it, and I didn't even know I got capped until after the fact. That's why I brought up the topic, because I was like, yeah, it ain't always, sometimes it's not you capping it. Sometimes people cap it for you, and you didn't even know that you're being capped. But that's when I realized.
I got questions.
Go ahead.
So how old were you?
At the time?
Yeah.
Maybe.
You don't got to tell the exact age, but.
No, I can get there. I'm cool with that. I maybe was like 32.
Right. So the next question is, why didn't you kind of make your intentions clear that you wanted to kind of a relationship?
That's a good question. And the answer is, I don't know if I fully wanted a relationship per se, boyfriend and girlfriend. But I thought we were a lot deeper than that because, okay, let me preference that answer with this. All my life, I've dealt with somebody longer that I've slept with earlier as opposed to later.
Right.
That's just how I've always been. If me and you hit the hay like within the week, you wouldn't always know one night or the one thing. We kind of dealt with each other for a minute. And then it was like, it seemed that the women that I just hit it and we didn't really talk nothing, that didn't go. So I'm saying, I don't think I could have, to answer your question, maybe I should have made my intentions clear too, or at least a lot more clear, especially me being a man. But she didn't make the intentions clear, and I'm not blaming her, but I'm a guy, so it feels that I probably should have said something. But I definitely didn't think that's what she was going to think. Right. Because most times women start thinking, okay, well, maybe we together. Come to find out, she was like, oh, no, we not together.
Well, I think that she was right in capping that relationship. I think from what you told me, the scenario that you told me, I don't think that you really wanted her to be your girlfriend. I think y'all was cool, and the reason you kept it where it was is because you liked it where it was. You kicked it with her. You was having sex with her. She was cool. You like talking to her, but you ain't really want that type of commitment to her. You know what I mean? So she was right in capping the relationship like, all right, this is what it is. Like, so when I find somebody who's willing to give me that type of commitment, then I might have to cut this. You see what I'm saying? So like, for all intents and purposes, if you're not going to, as a man, if you're not going to be like, hey, I'm feeling you, I want you to be my girl, then yeah, some other niggas is going to be like, yo, I'm feeling you, I want you to be my girl. And then she going to have to be like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? But I think she got out of it what you was getting out of it. Yo, he cool. I kick it with him. Sex is good. Like, yo, we good. But when I find a relationship, this gonna have to end. You see what I'm saying? I think a lot of guys, me included, keep girls in the gray because we like the situation that we in. Right. You know what I mean? We like, yo, this girl is cool. We can kick it with him. Like, yo, I can hang out. It's a soft place to land. But I don't really have to commit. I can still be out in the streets. I can do whatever I want. I don't really want this to be my girl, but this is a good situation. You know what I mean? We often do that, but I think that when guys find the one that they really want, they commit. They be like, nah, this is not just a good situation. I want you to be my girl. And men make their intentions clear. So I think women, yeah, you can have fun with a guy, you can have chemistry with a guy, but if he don't make his intentions clear, then you want to have to move. Like, you gotta entertain other options. You can't just sit around. And you said you was like 30, so you can't just sit around and just be in this space with somebody. You know what I mean? She had to kind of entertain other people, and when somebody was ready to commit and they was worthy to commit with, she had to go that way.
Cool. Whatever. Whatever. Give me that. You know. Rest in peace to Monique, because she actually passed away.
Rest in peace.
It was great. Yeah, I was hurt behind that too. Like that. But anyway, yeah, because that wasn't the first time I've been capped. The second time I was capped, I told her too. I was like, yo, because once I realized what it was, we were just on different planes in life.
Yes.
So yo, she was making 6 figures. I was making $10.70. She can't mess with me, seriously.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm a good time. The word on the street is I'm a good time. So that ain't I get all that, because women ain't the only ones out here getting used for their body. So, and it ain't just me. It's other guys out here, I'm pretty sure they putting down, yo, hold up. It's a dude that's going around, it's on the internet. Every time I see this clip, I'll be dying. He was like, yo, I'm 6'6". I'm 42 years old, 10-inch girth lift. He was like, yo, I'm sticking big dog dick in it. I was like,
what?
Yo, so when the dude was interviewing him, he was like, how would a woman know if you're putting it down like that of such? He said, there's no of such, and I don't like the way you said that. You try to see this nigga was hilarious. He was like, she know when messing with me, she's getting BDE. I'm thinking this nigga's gonna talk about big energy. This nigga said the best ever. I was like, this. And he's like, she knows she's not going to get better than me nowhere. I said, oh, this thing's red. So I'm reading all the comments of the chicks, oh, it's more than that. You just can't have a big whatever. And I'm sitting there looking like, when chicks do that, chicks want dudes to have all this extra stuff. They want them to have the damn elephant trunk. They want them to have all this money. We don't want you to talk about it. You don't get to talk about it. So when you get dudes out here that's actually explaining, it's always a movie, Poetic Justice. Remember the scene where that's Guy Torrey, right? Joe Torrey. Excuse me. Joe Torrey. He's brushing his hair. He was like, I got a whip, I got my own crib, I got bait coming in. My shit is set. That's how he felt about himself. Yeah. Now, he might not have said it out loud to somebody else, but on that scene, he's talking to himself. He's like, what? I'm up. Chicks want dudes to be up, but you just can't talk about it. This is why they don't like hearing when dudes talk about themselves in the third person, but like, yo, I'm a high value man. Because now they got all these little stringent, well, what makes you high value? Cut it out. You know what make him high value. He ain't got no kids. The brother makes 6 figures. You know what I'm saying? He's a good looking dude. He's tall, dressed nice. He got his life together. Cut it out. He's high value. No, but look at this character. Whoa. Now character matters? Because see, that dude over there didn't have all that. And he had a great character, great personality, and you killed him because he didn't have the condo, the Benz. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and he was humble with what he had and told you what he wanted. But this guy, to his degree, he humble with how he goes. The difference is he's just going to tell you, like, yo, look here, I'm this kind of dude. You going to have to prove to me why I should be messing with you. And the truth be told, I see why dudes act like that, because first off, there's way more women out here than guys. So it's like, yo, you got to show me why I should spend the bag or my time on just you. Because
it's a thin line between arrogance and confidence. You know what I mean? So I say that to say, whenever people say, okay, let's say women, whenever women put out tangible things that they're looking for in a man, right? Mm-hmm. So if you can meet that criteria, should you be confident about that? You see what I'm saying? Because women like confident men. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? To say that, yo, 6'4", make $250,000 a year, drive this, dress like this, look like this, and I'm pretty handsome. You know what I mean? I'm, a catch to women would be like in a lot of women's eyes the most cocky and braggadocious and conceited thing to say. But it's really like, yo, you put out the list and I checked off the boxes. So if I checked off the boxes, why can't I say I checked off this is advertisement. Like, hey, I checked off all the boxes. Men just go off of what women like, man. It just is what it is. You like nice cars, I'm gonna get a nice car. You like whatever you like. You know what I mean? What we doing? We doing baggy pants now, I'm wearing baggy pants. We doing what do you like? You know what I mean? What we gotta have? We gotta make 100,000, make 100. Oh, we make it's 150 now. Let me make 150. You know what I mean? So, and what other way to get women if it's not to advertise what they want? You know what I mean? So it's just like a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? I feel like women advertise what they have often. They advertise it and they be popping their shit a little bit. You know what I mean? And hey, I don't see anything wrong with being confident. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. It's some beautiful people in the world, and it's okay to know it. You know what I mean?
My thing, like you said, is a thin line between it. I think women also make terrible matchmakers. Women make terrible. I think guys make better matchmakers than women, because I think guys, we more so go off the character of a dude than a woman. This is what I mean by that. If a dude is hooking the chick up, a dude will straight up say, but look here, he got bread. He good financially. But he's kind of this way, the way he treats women. Now he will tell the chick, now look here, if you willing to deal with XYZ, then he your guy. He gonna fly you out, y'all gonna have a good time. The money ain't gonna be no issue. But don't expect this kind of relationship coming from him or whatever. Women, I feel they going straight, oh, what do you add to my life? Because I'm gonna get killed for this. A lot of times women are boring. Be honest. They be boring. Why do you think it's always, what can you add to my life financially, physically, mentally? Yo, I'm gonna tell you one of the best ways to get me up out of there. I already know I can dominate a conversation, whether it's with guys or especially if I'm in a relationship with a woman and things is whatever. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is this. I get to a point where I'm feeling like, the hell am I entertainment? Like, I'm here to entertain you. You didn't have nothing funny that happened today. You didn't have nothing interesting that happened. You see what I'm saying? So like everything, every story, everything that has to be told, I have to do it. Because after a while, you know what I start to do? Withdraw. Because now it's, so how was your day? Cool. Because I'm looking like, I want to see how much you going to talk. I want to see how much you going to carry this conversation. I want to see how much, and it's not about playing games, but it's just like, yo, if I have to talk to you and I'm like, stop me if I'm talking too much, that means you're not saying nothing, honestly. Because it makes it feel like I'm rambling. Go ahead.
Men have to be interesting. So because you said men are better matchmakers than women. Well, we kind of have to be because men are more realistic. Because we have to go out and get women. You know what I mean? We go out to get women. You know what I mean? And to do that, you have to be realistic about what you can get and who you can get. Men are very realistic about who's in their league and who's not. You know what I mean? They look at certain women and be like, okay, I might could get her tonight, but she's really kind of out of my, like she doing too much. I'm not there yet in life. You see what I'm saying? So yes, men can match women. You can look at a man and be like, oh yeah, y'all be a good match. You can look at them and be like, nah, you need somebody that's more like this. You know what I mean? And as far as entertaining women, we have to. We that's a part of getting women. Like I said, we do anything. Men do everything for women. You know what I mean? Hey, what do you like? You like guys with hats? I'm gonna wear a hat. You like guys with bald heads? Let me cut my head. Or and now we gotta be funny. Let me get my jokes up. Let me practice my timing. You see what I'm saying? So men kind of have to be interesting. You know what I mean? And it's a plus when you find a woman that's interesting. You know what I mean? It's a plus when you find a woman that can hold a conversation. And it's a lot of women out there. Women are interesting too, but a lot of times, they focus on the outer. You know what I mean? They focus on the body, the looks, and things like that. You know what I mean? And after I tell people all the time, men think about sex all the time until we get it. After we have sex, it's like, all right, who are you? No, I'm serious. Like after the sex, you find out who somebody is. You don't know who any woman is until after you have sex with them, because you spend your time you have a goal. You know what I mean? You have a goal. And then after sex, it's like that moment of, all right, I done bust this nut. Now, let's see if I really want to be around you. Let's see if I can really tolerate you. Oh my God, you are really cool. Like I can kick it over here. Like I might be back. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, yo, I mean, it's crazy.
Well, I think communication has to be done on both parts, whether it's men or women. But both of y'all gonna have to bring something to the table. Can't just have it. See, this whole theory of, well, what I lack, you pick up. I don't be into all that. Like, yo, look here, stop lacking over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me, like you said, give me a sore place to land because I'm giving you a sore place to land. And if it's not reciprocal, after a while, it's clearly one person carrying the relationship, and who knows how far that relationship gonna go. I'm Oshin, I'm the love doctor. Now get on out of here.
Yo, this nigga crazy. Peace.